Yo, what's up, boys? Keith with Sports Betting Cross America here. Rocking the new shirt, guys. Tell me what you think. I might have a few more of them made, even though I'm kind of giving up trucking, going all in on the channel, and really the bets. And guys, you know me, I'm very transparent with y'all. As good as we did in week one, it was what I would call a good old fashioned bloodbath. And this is why most people can't do what I do. It's just plain and simple. They can't do what I do. And the reason why is because they don't look at the long term. We're going to have, yesterday was especially bad, but we're going to have some losing weeks baked into the winners. The thing is, the winners are so fucking powerful when you hit them. And it's very, very rare where I have an entire slate. Like, most of my VIPs have already kind of seen the roller coaster at the end of last season when I first started the channel. The NFL, man, it's just I'm telling you guys, it was rough. It was like watching preseason yesterday. That's what it kind of felt like, to be honest with you. I think 3 quarterbacks eclipsed 250 passing yards. 3 guys. So let's do a quick recap, and then I'll kind of show you where we stand with the picks overall. And then I'm gonna have a free pick in the Niners game tonight, and it might surprise you guys. Well, maybe it doesn't. So let's start right here with the Steelers Falcons game. I'm just going to kind of give you like a couple sentences per game of what I thought. I literally had 7 games on once with the new NFL ticket on YouTube TV. It was pretty cool. Kind of bouncing around. I had the key games I was watching, but so Steelers Falcons. I mean, was it really Arthur Smith? I mean, or do Kyle Pitts and Drake London? Maybe they're just not very good, guys. I don't know. I mean, that was bad. Pittsburgh has a pretty solid D, but geez. And then Bills Cardinals. Kyler Murray looked really good once the first half, like when all the scripted plays were there, but in the second half, their coaching staff was afraid to throw the football. I never seen anything like it. He literally had 10 passing yards in the second half until the final drive of the game where they had no choice and they had to throw the ball. I mean, it was really hard to watch. A lot of unders hitting everywhere. Trey McBride, invisible. Marvin Harrison, invisible. This was a sloppy ass game. The Bears were very fortunate that they covered that spread, which I did recommend to y'all. I did also recommend, I thought this could be a very high scoring game, which it was. These were all just leans, of course. And then Caleb Williams did not look great. Keenan Allen dropped, the one touchdown he probably should have had. And then Will Levis just made some really bad mistakes. That Bears defense is pretty legit. Bengals just looked god awful at home. It looked like a preseason game. There's not much to say here. Texans Colts. This was my upset of the week. My underdog. They have their chances. I think I really thought Jonathan Taylor was going to have the good game, but it was actually Joe Mixon. He looked really good. He passed the eye test. He had a big game, by far one of the top running backs of the week I saw. They lost a close division game, so Texans are pretty good, but I think the Colts are going to get better as time goes on. This was one of the few duos that actually hit, but unfortunately we just couldn't combo them with anybody else that hit. Tua Tyreek is usually a pretty reliable duo, but even then, it's like Tua was he was playing from behind in, most of the second half, which is rare at home. I thought it'd be the other way around. I thought Jacksonville would be the team trailing most of this game, but it's once again, the NFL just looked a little sloppy. Brian Thomas Jr., he a rookie receiver for the Jags. He played well. He caught a touchdown. I saw his season line at 4.5 touchdowns, and I'm like, I think that's probably a good bet. Well, he's got one, so he needs 4 more. He's got a lot of games to do it. And then this game, I mean, yeah, Panthers are still really bad, but I was kind of impressed the way the Saints just blitzed them. I mean, it just kept going, going, going. So Kamara looked good. Shaheed looked pretty good. Olave, once again, invisible. If you would look at, like, if you're a over-under better on these player props, and you look at a game like this, guys, and you come and look at the score, and it says 47 points, you must have said, without even seeing your Yahoo fantasy football team or your Prizepicks, when you're like hoping Olave had a big game, you see 47 points, you must be thinking like, oh yeah, he had to have a big game. Nah, just invisible. Justin Jefferson and Sam Darnold look good. I'm not sure if the Vikings are really just that bad. I tried to tell people Minnesota's better than they think, and they have a good defense, and they have really good tackle play on the offensive line. And if there was somebody that was going to revive, Darnold's career, it'd be a Kyle Shanahan or a Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whispers, 100%. And he did look good. And the problem here was it was such a blowout. They stopped throwing in the second half, so Jefferson didn't hit. I think Darnold might have hit, but it was close. But it just sucks, man. One-sided games. And then Daniel Jones is so bad that Malik Neighbors went over but Daniel Jones couldn't even hit like 200 something yards, like 205 or whatever it was. It's just a joke. So that, if you're trying to take unders, this is what happens. One receiver can screw it for you, even if you think like it's just hard. Taking unders is so much harder. And it also pays less too. So Raiders Chargers kind of went exact. This is one game I didn't get a ton of exposure to. It's kind of how I thought it would go. I mean, Minshew played pretty okay, I guess. He threw for a decent amount of yards. Jacoby Myers actually outgained Devontae Adams, so Brock Bowers looked pretty good too. I think they could be better than people think, but it's a Jim Harbaugh coach defense, and they just played ball control, and Herbert was, low, and McConkey looked pretty good. He caught a touchdown, but that's the only reason he went over his yards. So this game looked pretty sloppy. I mean, both offenses, I'm not even sure how they got to these point totals. It's just gross. This was probably the shock of the day for me. It's not that I think I told you guys I thought the last video I made about the NFL preview, I guess you could say. I made a video just about this game, and I said I think the Browns will have a hard time manufacturing points this year. I could see that. Deshaun is just not good, man. He can't move around like he used to. It's kind of crazy, like the downfall of Deshaun Watson. But I was a little surprised at the Cowboys. They played well. I'll give them credit on the road. That's a good win for them. I want to see it against a real team. Like the Browns are just a mess, but their defense didn't even play well at home. They just look like a franchise that's right back to where they were. A team that made the playoffs last year. They play in a very tough division. I mean, losing at home like this bad in the first game of the year, it's just detrimental to the players. So the Bucks game, Baker played really well, guys, and even Jaden Daniels, I think he ran a little too much, but I guess that's just what he's gonna do, right? And I'd like to see him like throw the ball down the field a little more, but he looked like he's going to be okay in the NFL. That was my takeaway. And then this game just fucking pissed me off. We had so much riding on this. Could have saved us. I knew it right away. Nakua goes out. I'm like, oh, we're done. We're done. We're done. And then, of course, I had a hedge play with unders that had Cooper Kupp under, Stafford under. And then, of course, Stafford ends up hitting because they're trailing and Nakua's out. So, of course, Kupp's going to go over. It's just so dumb. And most of the plays were obviously on the overs. But it was a very frustrating game. It was a good game. It was entertaining, but it was the same as last time. The Lions get the ball and they get it first in overtime. The Rams are tired. They have a great offensive line. I mean, the NFL overtime rules are so dumb. Anyways, that's kind of the recap. So yeah, it went really bad, as you can see here. I didn't even chart the plays because literally it's not very often where I don't even hit one. So to bring our season total, we're at -9 units. As good as week one went, yeah, this weekend was just brutal. So yeah, it sucks being down, guys. But the reality is, like, if we would have had a little better luck, like, the last 2 weeks, we've lost 2 key players in college that literally got hurt early in the third quarter on Prizepicks. And as you know, if they get hurt in the first half, we would have been just fine. We would have got voided. We would have got probably 10 units back. Or if they didn't get hurt in the first place, they probably hit easily. They were both close. It was like Rutherford and Bell, I think, in week one, college football. And that would have brought back 19 units. Plus, if simply just Nakua didn't get hurt last night, okay? Like, this play is going to hit. This would have been 6 units back. And then we had another one right here on DK6 where, he got hurt with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. So the way Stafford played, the way he's diced up the Lions already, like, it just sucks, but we can't hang our heads. That would have been probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 units back. So it would have made this look a lot better. We easily, with a little bit of better injury luck, could have, been up 20 units right now through 2 weeks. So now most of the money, just so you guys know, and the real money, I think, going forward, like we're going to do fine in the NFL, but we're going to be very observant. We're going to look for some key over spots, and we're going to look for a couple under spots going forward. That's what I'm going to be doing for my VIPs, especially the next month is going to be right over here in college football. I feel like these duos are just going to hit at a better rate over here until the NFL kind of gets in, and I feel like the defenses are just have such an edge right now to the offenses. But as time goes on, that will start to change. We saw it last year. I should have been more prepared for this, to be honest. I should have probably went even lighter or maybe even taken some legit under combos. But we are going to set a play in tonight's game over here on Prizepicks for you guys. And what we're going to do and this is going to be gross. But this is the NFL. You have two really good defenses, and you have two really good offenses here too. I mean, the Niners were a top five offense last year. I don't know if the Jets will be a top five offense this year, but what I think they will be is efficient, and their defense should be on the field less overall this season. Meaning that every time they come onto the field, they're going to be playing better because they're more rested, and that's because their offense should be efficient. So I don't know. I kind of like kicking points. But in this one particularly, I could see them like getting close, and oh, why it moves that. I could just say like, hey, look, like I could see a world here where they're moving the ball okay. Niners really like, well, the whole NFL nowadays, really. Let's be real. They like to keep everything in front of them. They don't give up plays over the top very often. The Niners. Most of the league is playing this shell two covers kind of look, and that's why you have like quarterbacks that aren't even getting anywhere near 250 yards in week one. It's just, I guess this is just the new NFL. It's going to, like as time goes on, I think the underneath stuff will rack up. The pace picks up a little bit. A lot of missed throws, missed opportunities I saw this week in a lot of games where like, I say like in a month, hey, they're going to make that throw, right? I think honestly, this is a pretty good look. So I'm going to lock this in just for, Prizepicks limits me. I'd probably only put like 25 bucks on this, to be honest with you. Because it's like kickers, you just never know. But let's see if it even takes it here. They limit me to $5, guys, because I beat them for too much money. So current game load. Okay, so it's like needs to do the Arena League. Maximum amount is $5. Okay, so that's all I can put down on a play. Most of you guys know that, but I like to show for the new people. And the cool thing is that was a demon, so we actually got a little bit of a payout boost. Now, if I was going to build something that didn't have kickers involved, I'd probably come over here. And this is a pretty big number for Purdy. Like, he's obviously got this, but this is a really good defense. This is probably the best secondary in the league. And I don't know. I think they're going to have McCaffrey pretty involved. He is a little banged up coming into the year. We'll see. I mean, if I had to take an oversight, I think I'd actually take the Jets, because what Rodgers will do is he'll kind of just pick us apart, but it'll all be underneath. So it should accumulate over time. It's going to be hard to run against the Niners too, but they were a little leaky at the end of last year coming into the playoffs, but they have some new personnel. I still think, as long as the linebackers are good to go. I didn't even get an update on Dre Greenlaw. I should have looked at that. I don't know what his timetable for return is or when he's going to be 100%, but that's a big piece to the Niners defense right in the middle. But I could see Rodgers and Wilson probably having more success. The Niners do have Che Ward, but he usually stays on one side of the field. So the Jets will obviously just put Wilson in the slot or the opposite side of the field, try to give him the best matchup on the board. So I'm thinking, like, my gut's telling me that like this is going to be a very physical game, and guys that thrive in those type of games are usually dudes like Debo and McCaffrey. All right. Then these are big numbers right here, okay? Like, that's a big number for McCaffrey. He's coming in banged up. You just never know. Ayuk allegedly could be on a pitch count is what I'm hearing out of the Niners. Because he held out for so long, didn't play in the preseason, wasn't this is like the game, and we used Kyle Juszczyk where you just take a couple random props, right? Like, he hit this. Look at this in the last two games. Now this is a fluky one. Like, if he catches one ball, he's gonna hit this, but if he doesn't, obviously he's not gonna catch it. But this is that type of game where Kyle Shanahan probably is gonna use Juszczyk a lot as a lead blocker. Forget the exact personnel they call it, but he's going to have Kittle probably blocking and peeling off. So I could see like Kittle having a few receptions in this game, especially if they get like a 2-minute drill. I think that Juszczyk is going to have some opportunities here with like some misdirection motion. I think this is actually a decent bet tonight. I also think that the Debo combo yards is pretty good. With Ayuk on a pitch count, he should catch some balls, and then I think he'll probably pitch in with a little bit on the ground. I think that's probably a solid play. And then what you could do is, I wouldn't stack Purdy with this necessarily, because we're expecting like this to be like a physical Niners having success running, maybe some short pass dump offs. The McCaffrey number just scares me because it's so big. But if you wanted to take an over, I think this would probably be your duo right here, taking Rodgers and Garrett. Because like I said, they are 4-point underdogs. Rodgers probably will get very close to this number just by going underneath, spreading it out and stuff. I'm very curious to see how this new O-line does. We'll just have to wait and see. But if they hold up against Bosa and company, that's a great sign for the Jets going forward this season. And, the Niners just have a lot of guys that like held out, like Trent Williams. It's going to be a really interesting game tonight to watch my Niners play. I do think they'll win a close game, but it really wouldn't shock me if the Jets beat them. And as you guys know, I might still have the picture here. Actually, no, I guess I deleted it. I'm all in on the Jets winning the Super Bowl. They were my preseason pick. Actually, I picked them back in February before the draft or free agency even happened. And I'm telling you, they have everything they need. And it wouldn't shock me if they were the 1 seed in the AFC because their schedule is so fucking easy. So, this is not an official play, but these are a few. If I was going to build something, it'd probably look just like this. Or you could tack on one of the kickers. You could take was it Zerline and Moody? Yeah, you could tack them on. It's probably a game to just go light on and enjoy as a football fan, to be honest, guys. I don't see a ton of betting angles because no matter what, they're going to be close to this number anyways, I think. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out, but college football is going to be great. Get pumped. I got a lot of content coming out for y'all this week. I do appreciate all the support, and if you all are new here, definitely hit that sub button, and we're gonna dive in deep this week, guys. We're going fucking deep. And like what I was telling you guys earlier, a lot of people can't do what I do. Even some of my friends that they'll come in at the wrong time. They'll come in when we have one of these losing weeks. But just so you guys know, the goal that I set this year for the VIP was 250 units positive, and I think we're gonna get there. But we just had a little bit of a speed bump. That's it. That's all week 2, or it's all week NFL 1 was, and week 2 college football was a speed bump. But we're ready to go. Peace.